Hi, this is Chef Dave Bishop with Chef to You. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be preparing black-eyed peas. I'm going to show you two different methods today. I'm going to show you a slow cooker method that you can start before you go to work and come back 7 to 8 hours later and have them ready for supper. Then I'm going to show you the pre-soak method and put them in a pot, and they'll be ready in about an hour and a half once you get done soaking them. What I have here is a 1 pound bag of dried black-eyed peas. These have to be soaked, or they got to be slow cooked for they can rehydrate and go into a soft bean. Start out with your beans. First you got to wash your beans. You got to check them out for any kind of rocks. Best thing for you to do is pour them on a tray, spread them out, and start at one corner and just work your way through. Because you can find little small rocks in here every once in a while. You might find a black bean or pinto bean. Just depends on how well they sorted them. So you want to take your time, go through. You might find some dark black-eyed peas right here that look kind of faded. You may not want those in your batch. So take the time to do that. Very important. You don't want anybody to bite down on a rock. Inspected your beans and you're satisfied everything's out of there you don't want in there. You need to go ahead and wash them really well. Even if the bag tells you it's been triple washed already, I would still rinse them really well. You want any kind of dirt that's going to be in your beans. See the difference in these two beans here? This was soaked at 5 o'clock yesterday, so you're talking about almost 24 hours ago. And then here's some that had not been soaked. You see how they've swollen up, and they're actually going to triple in size. So you can soak them overnight. If you're going to want to do this and you have the time to do it on a weekend, or you're going to do this before work, you can start from scratch without having to soak them. Let's go ahead and look at our ingredients we're going to be using today. We're going to get started on the pre-soaked beans. Ingredients today that's going to go in with the unsoaked beans is going to be a ham bone. We got some diced ham that came off that ham bone. We got some onions. We use some salt, pepper, basil, a little bit of salt to saute the onions. And with the black-eyed peas over here, pretty much the same ingredients except onions, salt, pepper, basil, and we're going to use bacon and cook the bacon. We'll use the bacon grease and all, and we're going to use it in this dish right here. Let's go ahead and get started on pre-soaked beans. We have our pre-soaked beans here. I already put them in the pot, and there was 3 cups of dry beans, 6 cups of water. You see where it absorbed pretty much all the water. You want about 1 inch cover over top of the beans. So I'm going to add 2 more cups of water to this. I'm going to add approximately half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and I'll put 2 bay leaves in it. Something to remember, very important, you always start your beans off in cold water. The reason for that is that the beans have got a real thin outside coating. You start in hot water, the hot water is going to peel that outside coating, and you're going to end up with a more chance of your beans being all blown up and mushy at the bottom. We want a little bit of the beans to break up for that texture, but we don't want just mush at the end of this. Put a lid on this. Bring this to a boil, let it boil for 15 minutes. After that 15 minutes, we're going to turn it down to low, let it sit for 1 hour. The peas is going to come into a boil, and we're going to brown our bacon off. Nice thing about this meal here, we can go ahead and get our black-eyed peas on the stove, get them going, and we can start the rest of the meal. So we're going to brown this bacon off so it's nice and crispy, and then we're going to add our onions. We'll take it out of the pan, deglaze it, and save that to put in the beans in 1 hour from now. Black-eyed peas have come to a boil. What I'm going to do is take a perforated spoon, and they'll form like a little scum that comes on top. I like to take that off. Our bacon and onions are done. Let's go ahead and put it in this little dish right here. We're still waiting on our black-eyed peas. Now something I like to do, again, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, then don't. I like to take a little bit of water and pour it in this skillet. Bring it back to a boil, because I want every little bit of flavor that's at the bottom of that pan, I want to pull that off. That's called deglazing a pan. I want all that flavor going to my black-eyed peas. I don't want it going down the drain. It's been 1 hour. Let's go ahead and pull our lid. I see I'm going to need to add a little bit of water to these today. Just enough that you can see them come to the top of the beans. Perfect right there. We got our bacon and our onions. Let's go ahead and add that. Stir this up really well. And we're going to leave this on a low heat for about a half an hour. And we're ready to eat. See how the beans are done? We'll adjust the flavor with salt and pepper in a half an hour. We're going to get started on our black-eyed peas. We're going to put in the crock pot. I melted 2 tablespoons of butter. Let's add some onions to that. We're going to cook these till they're translucent. Add our ham. This is about 1.5 cups of ham that came off the ham we cooked for the holidays. You can buy a ham at the store, just cut up about half a pound to a pound would be great in here. Cook these a little bit to kind of sweat the meat to get a little more flavor out. What I mean by sweating, I just want to get the meat warm. I want to pull some of the natural flavor out of the meat. I don't want to dry it out. I don't want to brown it, because as that meat sits in that black-eyed peas and that liquid, as it cooks for that 8 hours, it's going to seep in and give that beans a great flavor. We're just about done. Let's head over to our crock pot. Crock pot warm. We're going to set this on a low for 8-hour cook. We're going to set our ham hock in there. Pour our 3 cups of black-eyed peas, approximately a pound, on top. Here goes our sauteed onions and sauteed ham. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. We adjust the flavoring towards the end. A 1.25 teaspoons of salt. A couple bay leaves. And I've got about 6 cups of water. You want to make sure it's almost double water to the beans. Cover it up real good. Put a tight fitting lid on there. We're going to lock it and be done with it. Our pre-soaked black-eyed peas are done. The bacon's in there, the onions. I added a little salt and pepper to it. Put a couple ladles right here in this nice bowl right here. That's going to be supper right here. Lunchtime. Just a little bit more. I'm going to take some cheddar cheese. Sprinkle right on top in the center. Take some freshly chopped cilantro, put that right on top. Now this does freeze well. Chill it, reheat up just what you need the next day. It should last 4 or 5 days in the refrigerator. Also put it in a Ziploc once it gets cold and freeze it. Freezes really well. You'll love this. Crock pot black-eyed peas are done. It's been 8 hours. Nice and tender. The ham is cooked through. The bones are actually separated where all that meat has gone into the juice. This pot here we're going to chill down and serve tomorrow with a chicken pastry. I'm not going to put it in the bowl. But again, this is something you can do before you go to work. Put it on low for 8 to 10 hours. Black-eyed peas are ready. This is Chef Dave Bishop, cooking and teaching. Until next time, may God bless.